Welcome to the Help for Leaders podcast. I'm Stacey Harris, and I'm passionate about showing leaders the power of communication and how it can transform their organizations, from Fortune 500 boardrooms all the way to brand new startups. As a leader, your actions and your words transform people and your company culture. So join me as I share tips and insights for elevating your leadership abilities as well as your team's performance. Let's dive right in. Appreciating and flexing toward the high I outgoing individual. That's what we're going to be talking about today on the Help for Leaders podcast. I'm Stacey Harris. Super excited that you're joining me today. And so I want to dive into communicating with that outgoing individual. We all have them in our lives. You know that person that's magnetic and they're assertive and all about people, and they love to have fun, and they're optimistic, trusting, ambitious, all of those fun words describing that individual. So I want you to think about that person that you know in your life. Maybe they're your manager, maybe they're on your team, maybe they're your spouse, your significant other, your parent, a child even. I want you to really think about that person because I want to give you some strategies today to communicate effectively with this individual. So what I'm teaching you in this series of 4, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, go back and listen to it. We're giving you these same tips, these same insights on how to communicate with the direct individual. So today we're talking about the outgoing person. And also I want you to learn how to appreciate these things, because if we don't understand people and how we're different and focus on appreciating our differences, they can drive us crazy and really be sources of conflict. And so what I want to help you do is see the gold inside of each person and really be able to call that out and understand the gifts and strengths that we all bring, because we all have great qualities inside of us, and we've got to learn how to appreciate those differences. So back to that outgoing person that's all about optimism. They're all about having a great time. They're all about communicating. They're all about talking with their hands, all the things. That's the person I want to talk to you about. So when you're communicating with that person, you want to really focus on planning that interaction so that it supports them as an individual. Don't approach that conversation and situation all business. You really want to allow some time for interacting with that individual to support their dreams and their vision. This person typically is a dreamer, and they love to have those kinds of conversations that talk about their dreams and their passions and where they want to go. So don't legislate to them, don't muffle them, don't really squash those dreams. That's super disconnecting for that style. You also want to allow time for socializing. If you haven't listened to my podcast where I talk with Taylor after the disc table talk, it is the funniest thing. The first 3 minutes of two eyes getting together, all we do is socialize, and we go off topic on this tangent. That's typical high I behavior. You want to give time for socializing and really connecting on a personal way before you dive deep into business. You also want to focus on people and action. So outgoing individuals, they will absolutely get results, but they want to get them through people, through their team, making sure the team is included and a part and really focused on the task at hand. Also, you want to ask their opinion. The outgoing individual wants to talk. It's just inside of them to be able to express their thoughts and their opinions and their ideas. They literally have to talk to think. So give them space to talk so that their brains can really start dreaming and that idea generation can start. You don't want to waste too much time, obviously, dreaming, so you may have to rein them in when that starts happening, but you really want to make sure that you're talking personally and really connecting on a personal level. You want to make sure that you're providing fun as well, stimulating conversation, fun. That's a huge part of that outgoing individual. It's part of our mission statement at Leadership Resources. I make sure that fun is included, and that's because I'm leading this organization and I'm a very outgoing person, and fun is important to me, where it might not be as important to other behavioral styles. So understanding that about that outgoing person. Also, providing testimonials of people who have done certain things, that's really helpful. So if you're trying to include this person in a conversation, let them know who's done something like you're talking about previously. That really does draw them in. And then don't be rude. Don't talk down to this person. I would say the outgoing individual of all styles really does take that to heart and take that personally. So give them some action items to really engage in rather than talking down to them. So let's talk about what we appreciate about that high I outgoing individual, because we really do want to lean into those characteristics as well. They're optimistic. The glass is always half full. They're enthusiastic. They want to have fun. They're all about connecting with individuals. Do you know what else? The high outgoing individual is also a very creative problem solver. And I really appreciate about that characteristic in those outgoing individuals. I feel like I'm talking about myself too. It's kind of funny. What do I appreciate about me? I can motivate you toward your goal, but outgoing individuals really can motivate others toward a goal. It's just how we're wired. We're positive. We have a great sense of humor. We love jokes. We love being light. That's classic outgoing style. Also, another great characteristic of the outgoing individual is they can actually negotiate conflict quite well because they want to connect individuals. So they can see things from different perspectives and really help be that bridge in conflict. High outgoing individuals also love to verbalize. They're quite articulate in their speech and very persuasive individuals, and they love to give recognition to other people and really include the team in conversation and in recognition, especially when there's a job well done. The outgoing person is the first person typically to say, "Great job, team. Thank you," and really including everyone in that process. And they can absolutely serve as the spokesperson for your team, for your organization. They're the cheerleaders, and they'll cheer you on constantly. So those are some of the things that we can appreciate about that outgoing individual. So who are the outgoing people in your life? Who are those optimistic, glass half full, assertive individuals that are all about people? I want you to share this podcast with them and let them know that you appreciate them as an individual and what they bring to your relationship, what they bring to your team and your organization, because we need to focus on what we appreciate about each other and really leaning in to communicating more effectively and bridging those gaps. So I hope you'll join me next week. We're going to be talking about the steady individual. We're going to talk about strategies, and I'm going to give you tips to communicate most effectively with that person. And again, we're going to really talk about what we appreciate about that style. So thanks for joining me this week. Join me next week as we talk about the steady style. Thank you for joining us today. You have the potential to communicate, engage, and lead with significant impact, and my goal is to help you do just that. Whether you're trying to get that next big promotion, scale your small business, or manage a team of thousands, there's always room for growth, and I can help you get there. Go to disc-report.com and find out what style of leader you are by downloading my free ebook on communication. Until next time, lead well and prosper.